Welcome to another video, and in this video I'll be guiding you through the basics of Power Query. We'll start by understanding what Power Query is, and then we'll explore some of its key features and functionality. We will see how to access and install Power Query if you're using Excel 2013 and prior, how to connect the different data sources, and of course the basic transformations to clean and prepare your data, and then loading this data into Excel. So I'm hoping by the end of the video you will have a solid kind of a foundation to start using Power Query in your own projects. So what exactly is Power Query? Let's understand in simple terms that Power Query is a data connection technology that enables you to discover, connect, combine, and refine data across a variety of different sources. And it is available as an add-in in Excel 2010 and 2013, which means it is not available directly. You will have to download it and install it, and we are going to see how do we do that. And of course in the later versions, which is 2016, 2019, and of course the Office 365, this feature is available by default. So we're going to also see how do we install it if you're using Excel 2010 and 2013. So with Power Query, what you can do is you can pull data from different databases and online services. So basically get data from different let me give you a scenario. Let's assume that you're preparing a report, you're preparing a report for your quarterly business review, and that the data is available in different sources. Maybe it is available in SAP, sorry, or if it is available in Salesforce. You need to get that data, and that data is going to be available in different formats. So one is to get data. Maybe you also have some data that is available on the internet or in a PDF document or as a CSV file. So first, Power Query is going to help you to get the data from different data sources. Maybe you have all of this information in a folder, so you don't have to manually import all of them. You just select that folder and that entire data is going to be copied for you. Or even if you have it in multiple spreadsheets, it is going to help you to combine all of those spreadsheets and get the data. So the first thing that it is going to do is it is going to help you to get the data. Once you have your data, Power Query is going to make it easy to clean it and transform it. So that is the second step, basically transform your data. So you could easily kind of remove any errors, filter out any unnecessary information, and shape your data exactly the way that you need it. So that is how you can transform, and you don't need, for example, let's assume you want to remove some additional spaces. You don't have to write formulas to do that, or you want to convert something into uppercase, lowercase, or you want to transform the data type, maybe from numbers to a text or from text to numbers, any of those. So all of this is done under the transform option. And once you have transformed your data, then the next thing that you need to do is for you to prepare the report or analyze it, you need to load it back into Excel. So that is the load option. So you have the first step, which is you'll get the data, you will transform the data, and then you will load it onto Excel. So now let's look at how do we install Power Query in versions if you're using 2010 or 2013. Let me show you that on my system. We're going to be looking at how do we download the add-in if you're using earlier versions. If you're using Excel 2010 or Excel 2013, then we're going to see how do we download the add-in. So the first thing that you need to find out is if you're using a 32-bit version or a 64-bit version. And how do you find that out is if you click on File, then go to Account, and here you will see the About Excel. Click on About Excel, and then it is going to tell you. So in this case, if you see, mine is a 64-bit version, so I know that I need to download the 64-bit. Once you've identified that, Go to a browser, any browser of your choice, and then type in download Power Query add-in. I've given the details in the description. You can click on that and hit enter. So this is going to open the official Microsoft. I'm using Bing. Let me also show you in Google. Okay, and go to Google, download Power Query add-in, and it is going to show you the official Microsoft website. Download Microsoft Power Query for Excel from official whatever. So I click on that link, and then it is going to open this site, and it'll tell you the different versions. You can see how it's about 17 MB, and you click on the link here on top itself. You'll get download, and it is going to ask you which version do you want, the 64-bit, and this is why I asked you to check. So if you have not done this, please go back and check the version that you're using. So you can either use these two, and then you can download that. Once you have downloaded it, then you need to go back to Excel, then go to file, more, and options, and then you have this option which is add-ins. You click on the add-ins here, and then click on com add-ins, click on go, and you can enable that. So once you've installed it, it will be available here, so you can click on it and click OK. And then based again, since I've already, or since I'm using Office 365, it is available directly for me. So we have the get data here, or also under the Power Pivot we have the options here. Okay, so these are different ways that you can enable Power Query in Excel if you're using Office 2010 or Office 2013. Now that you have Power Query installed, let us see how do we use this, or how do we get the data. And your views might be a little different because I am using Office 365, so the views might be a little different. But you can click on data, and under this you will have the option of get data. So let me give you a scenario. The scenarios: you have to prepare a report for your quarterly business review or your QBR, and you want to get data, or the data is in different format because different departments are using different softwares, whatever is the reason. So you could get data from different sources. This is one of the advantage of using Power Query. Like we saw earlier in the video, we could get the data from different sources. So you could get data from existing Excel workbook, or you can get that data from any CSV file, or from XML, or even from a PDF document, or you could get that data from various databases. You could connect your Salesforce, or you could connect your no, SAP reports. Any of those is a possibility. You can directly also from Azure. So these are some of the things that you can do. For this video, or in this example, we're going to be looking at how do we import the data or get data using a CSV file. And what I've done is I've attached a link to download this file for you to practice along in the description. So please go ahead and download that, and then practice along. So I have this file that's there. Click on it, and we're going to import the data. And as soon as we do that, it is going to open a pop-up which looks something like this. So basically it is giving you the different column names, and if you see here, ideally the column names in the CSV file or your text document is not replaced with the headers here. So it is just giving you column 1, column 2, column 3. Ideally my column 2 should be employee ID, column 3 should be the name. We are going to see how do we change that. And then of course there is some additional line here in between. We want to delete that as well. An additional row here, we want to delete it. And we can of course transform a lot of other things that we can do with this data. So I'm going to click on if, let's assume your data is clear, your data is clean, and you can direct, or you want to directly load it onto your Excel file, you can just click on load. But in this case I want to transform my data, so I'm going to click on transform data. And moment I do that, it is going to open the Power Query editor. This is what it opens up. Okay, and then it is going to get that file that we added. And moment we do that, you can see all of these options that is available here. The first thing that we want is we want to delete this. We don't need this column. Okay, so this is the interface here. So I'm going to just click on, it is almost similar to the Excel interface. So I'm going to click on the column here, like in ABC. I'm going to click on column one. What do I want? Do I need this? No. So I have an option here right on top which says remove columns. Okay, so there's a drop down. I can say remove other columns. I'm just going to say remove this column because this is the one that's selected, and it's done. The next thing that I want to do is I want to change this, right? All of this should be my headers. And so instead of column 2, I want employee ID. And again, with this selected, you can see here in between you have use first row as header. All I need to do is click on this and you can see it automatically updated all of those. So column 1, column 2, whatever was there is now replaced with the headers that I want. Next thing, what do I want? I want to delete this row. So if you see here again, earlier we did a remove columns. In this case, I'm going to say remove row, and I'm going to say the top row because that's the row that I want to delete. So I click on that. How many rows? I'm just going to say one, click OK, and it is going to remove that particular row. That's it. Okay, now your data is kind of ready. Now if you see here on the right side, so there is no control Z or control Z, which is your undo option. The only way that you can do that is you can X this out. So these are the steps that is applied. So if I remove this, you can see it kind of goes back to what we did earlier. Okay, I'm going to click on remove columns again, remove top row, click one, and you can see that this step is applied. So the other advantage of this is, now let's assume this is a same thing that you're doing maybe every day or every file that you get, you need to transform the data. So now all of these steps is saved. So the next time that you need to do, just put your data, and then it is going to do all of these steps for you by default, so you don't have to do this the next time. So that is the other advantage of using a Power Query. So we have seen some of the things that we can do here. Now let's, some of the other things that I also want to do is, I don't know if you're able to notice, but there is a space here, there's an additional space before all of these, right? Since it's a text, there's a possibility that there's a space that it has come across. So I could, okay, it's just moving there. So I'm going to select this. I can different ways that I can do this. I'm going to show you with the right click now. So if I right click, I have this option. If you see here, transform and change type. So first I'm going to look at transform. What is it that I want to do? I want to trim, and I want you to notice this while you're doing it here. So change, so transform and trim. You can see that it's moved to the left. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do this for here, transform and trim. Okay. I want to select both of these together. So I'm just going to hold my shift key and select all of them. Okay, right click, so I can also do them together by holding down the shift key. I select all of them, trim, and now it has removed all of these spaces. The other thing that you could do is, I don't know how many of you notice this, but if I right click, I have an option again to transform it into uppercase. Okay, so I don't have to write formula like upper, lower in Excel that you do. You can directly transform it to anything that you want. Okay, I'm going to just say capitalize each word, and you could also see there's an option where you can change it into decimal. So these are the different data types that you can change to. Okay. Now, the other thing that you could do is, let's assume you want to combine two cells into one. Maybe I want to combine the title and name. I want to combine the title and the name. Basically, I want to merge two columns, the title and the cell. So whatever is it that the first that you want, and let's assume I want the title first, right? Because I want Mister followed by the name, not the name followed by Mister. So what is it that I want first? I'm going to select that. Then I need to hold down the shift key, and I'm going to hold down the control key because I don't want it together. So I don't want to select the gender, so I hold the control key. I first click on title, I hold the control key, click on the name. Now, what do I want to do? I want to merge columns. Again, right click, merge columns, and now it is going to say what is the separator. So, in between, what do you want? In this case, since there is already a dot, but even let's assume that you want a space, you could say a space. So, it is going to be Mr. space the name. And what is the name that you want to give? So, I will say full name. Click OK, and now you can see that it is created a tab or a column with the Mr. The title is gone and the name is gone, and it is done this. So these are some of the basic features of Power Query that you can use. So once let's assume you're okay with this data, you can directly load this again to Excel. And to do that, either you can click on this directly or click on this arrow and say close and load. And now this is going to load back into Excel. And the other advantage of this is you can see that by default the data comes as a table, and now you can quickly format your data into the table format that you need. So that is it about Power Query. And like I mentioned, this is just the introduction. I will try and put some videos later on how more advanced features of the Power Query. Between, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section, and I will be more than happy to answer them. And of course, I need your help to get this to get more followers and views on this video. So please, I do request you to share this with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit that bell notification so that you don't miss out on videos. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.